Hi everyone, our top lead this evening is the BJP. It's a party that is often called a party with a difference. But in two states in South India, it is increasingly looking like it's a party with differences. In Karnataka and in Telangana. A party that prides itself for its discipline is rife with dissent in these two states. Why? Let's start with Karnataka. For the first time in the history of the Karnataka Assembly, the budget session began without a leader of the opposition. Why? Because the Bharatiya Janata Party is yet to take a decision on the same. It's nearly 2 months since the Congress came to power, and there's still no leader of opposition in the Assembly. The BJP is divided. The confusion after the election defeat and infighting within has made the BJP a divided house, making it very difficult to pick a leader of opposition. Ex-Chief Minister Basavaraj Bommai is amongst the front-runners for the post. Basanagowda Patil Yatna, he's an ex-minister, also ex-minister C.N. Ashwath Narayan, and Araga Janedra are also believed to be in the race. Sources are saying that the ex-Karnataka Chief Minister Bommai is trying to secure the LOP post, saying that only he can counter the Congress party in the Assembly. But other leaders like Yatnal feel differently. They are arguing that had Bommai been capable of handling the Congress, the party wouldn't have lost the polls in the first place, and he has a point. The leaders basically are busy accusing each other. Meanwhile, ex-Chief Minister B.S. Yedurappa is leading the talks to appoint the new LOP, that too when he doesn't hold any position in the party, nor is he a legislator. Speculation is rife that his second son and first-time MLA B.Y. Vijendra is also trying to secure the post of the deputy LOP. Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah is calling the BJP the most indisciplined party. Two BJP central observers who were sent to Delhi have returned after gathering opinion from key office bearers, but the decision is still pending. Where is it going? Let me go straight across to my colleague Deepak Bopanna, who is joining us from Bangalore this evening. Deepak, where is the BJP story going? It's clear there is dissent within the party as to the position of the LOP. It seems that the BJP has a problem of plenty, and that is what has become a headache for the party.
Well, there were plenty, but now they're reduced to, of course, 66 in numbers. And the BJP has to choose the LOP within the 66 because only the MLAs, of course, could become the leader of oppositions. Of course, for the party president, it's another case. They do have several other options in front of them. But, for the BJP, like you mentioned and started off saying that, they take pride in saying that they have a very strong high command. They're a party that, goes by discipline and everyone, follows suit. But here in Karnataka, it seems like after the drubbing that they received in the recently held elections, all is not well. On one hand, of course, the High Command seems to be thinking whether do we change, the LOP to ensure that there is a strong leadership because you have the BBMP elections, the local municipal elections here, and also more importantly, in a few months from now, the Lok Sabha elections. So while they have to keep all of these considerations in mind, they also need somebody who has seniority in the Assembly and also could, counter the Congress on various issues in the next few years. So that's where the challenge really lies. Yes, Mr. Basavaraj Bommai, of course, was somebody who could have been considered as an obvious choice because he was the former Chief Minister. But at this point in time, the decision should have been taken already. And you have 3 days in already since the budget session has begun. Day after tomorrow, Mr. Siddaramaiah presents a budget. And can you imagine for BJP at this point in time still you're not having a leader of the opposition because that will be the main individual who will be countering the Congress party on the budget that is going to be presented, and especially when the 5 guarantees have been announced and the implementation is going on, they really need somebody to do that. But many of the leaders, MLAs themselves, seems to be clueless at this point in time, and that's where the agony really lies. And for this issue, being out there for everyone to see, the Congress, of course, is making the most of it, not just using this particular election and the result of it as an impetus or a push for them for the other elections. They're also going to look at this as to how they brought down the mighty BJP here in Karnataka, and they will look to amplify it in other states as well.
All right. Deepak, we'll leave it there for the moment. Thank you very much. Meanwhile, the BJP in Telangana is in a bit of turmoil as well. Bandi Sanjay is out and G. Keshan Reddy is in as the new Telangana BJP chief. Now, until a few months ago, the party was not in favor of any change in leadership in Telangana, given that polls were just 6 months away. But sources say that the party had to act as a dissent was brewing in the Telangana unit. With Karnataka, its gateway to the south, lost to the Congress party a month ago, the BJP definitely cannot afford to ignore any infighting within the Telangana unit. Hence, the organizational changes. Needless to say, Bandi Sanjay is a firebrand leader. He has expression, he has style, and sometimes he's in the news for all the wrong reasons. And unlike BJP chiefs in the past in Telangana, he's actually managed to get under the skin of Chief Minister KCR. He has in fact been appreciated by the Prime Minister in the past for his organizational abilities. But his leadership drew criticism as well. His behavior wasn't liked by many, and he was accused of not taking the team along. Most leaders said he isn't a team player. Now the organizational changes, just 4 months ahead of the elections, has irked his supporters. His supporters have tweeted about how the move could lead to the BJP's downfall. In fact, the Nalgonda town BJP president has submitted his resignation over Bandi's removal. And one Bandi supporter went completely berserk and attempted to hang himself as well. Meanwhile, the BJP MP, that is Bandi Sanjay, is expressing his sentiments about the leadership transition as well. He's saying, and I quote, that some chapters in our lives have to close without closure, unquote. Basically expressing displeasure. Let me go straight across to Shaumit, who is joining us live from Hyderabad this evening. Shaumit, what was this dissent that was brewing within the Telangana BJP unit for which Mr. Bandi Sanjay had to be sacrificed and Mr. G. Kishan Reddy had to be got in?
Well, Shreya, there were speculations on since last one and a half month where, we have, even reported several stories how infighting is going on in the BJP party, how top leaders like Itala Rajender, D.K. Aruna, Arvind Dharmapuri, and also even others are unhappy with the Bandi Sanjay's leadership. And they openly came out, even including Raghunandan Rao, they openly came out and, they spoke against Bandi Sanjay, they spoke against his top leadership. And later, they have also built immense pressure on the central BJP leadership to take action or at least change the president post. And after that we were hearing that Kishan Reddy might replace him, and finally JP Nadda has come out and replaced Bandi Sanjay with Kishan Reddy as the Telangana BJP president, and also has appointed Itala Rajender, the MLA from Huzurabad, who's also big face from the Telangana, and also he was a former minister from the BRS party who joined into the BJP recently in 2020. And after that, even in the same year when Bandi Sanjay has took over as the president, and after he took over as the president, party has multiplied its cadre by several times, and he boosted the youth to come and join the BJP party. And his criticism against the BRS, his criticism against the MIM, and also victories starting from Huzurabad to Dubbaka to GHMC polls have also boosted the cadre, and also they were even fighting against the ruling government here. And after that, all of a sudden infighting has raised, and also central leadership involved, and even JP Nadda, Amit Shah, even others have conducted a key review meeting in the Delhi and tried to address the concern. And finally, it doesn't happen. And just before heading into the polls, they have changed the president. So we have to wait and see how this will turn up, Shreya, because it's very important. The assembly fight will be a tri-fight, and it will be behind among the three parties, that is BRS, BJP and the Congress. So basically changing the president, Bandi Sanjay is very aggressive leader when it comes to the ground, and Kishan Reddy is very soft leader when it comes to the ground. So we have to wait and see how this will turn up for the party and how this will benefit the party.
Okay, we'll leave it there for the moment, Shaumit. Thank you very much for joining us. A quick chat with my guests this evening. The BJP, of course, didn't send us a spokesperson. Anurag Naidu is an author. We'll be speaking on their behalf, I think. Anurag, you can correct me if I'm wrong there. Dhruv Jatti, spokesperson of the Congress party, joining us on the broadcast. And we have B.S. Arun, who's a senior journalist, who will try and make sense of what we are seeing play out both in Telangana and in Karnataka as well. Because as I said, Anurag Naidu, the BJP is a party that prides itself greatly on its discipline. It says our party people are disciplined enough to hate each other. Well, they don't say that. I'm just saying that to hate each other, but not publicly grab each other's throats. And that is largely true. But take a look at what is happening in Karnataka. Take a look at what is happening in Telangana. Is that discipline unraveling, especially in Karnataka?
Yeah, Shreya, first of all, thank you for having me on the show. I'm audible, Shreya? Yeah.
Absolutely, loud and clear.
Yeah, great. So, why should we bring in this narrative? Why should we peddle a narrative saying that there is indiscipline? What is indiscipline? Indiscipline is when you cross a party line, or when you go against a party line, or when you violate a party whip. Right now, what is happening in the Karnataka? We took an example, and Mr. Shivkumar also mentioned what happened in the House. All the BJP leaders, as a united front, attacked the government for not implementing the 5 guarantees in true spirit. So there is an absolute, extremely good display of unity, whether it is Mr. Bommai, Mr. Ashok, Mr. Rashwat Narayan, all the names that you are taking, Mr. Yatnal or Mr. Sunil Kumar. They have all come, all guns blazing as a united force in the assembly. That shows that irrespective of whether the party takes some kind of a delay, some time in
Mr.
appointing
Naidu.
key position, it's a very key position of a leader of opposition. Though it doesn't, matter a lot
Anurag,
when it comes to
for the
standing for
first
the
time
rights
in
and
the
standing for
history.
the. I'm coming to that. So standing for the people,
Anurag,
and that's what
if they were so
displayed. And
united,
when it comes to,
if they were so united, if they was, give me a minute, if they were so united, they would have had a leader of opposition. Look, it's not 5 days or 6 days or even a month. It's been exactly 2 months since they lost Karnataka, right?
I'm
2
coming to
months.
that. I'll put a very
For the first time in
perspective.
history. For the first time in history.
Yes. For the first time,
we have a budget session that is starting in the state without.
Also share for the first time in recent history, BJP has had such a drubbing defeat. Let's be very honest about it. And I'm as an independent thought, from a thought process, I can tell you that down to 66, the main problem that lies in front of them is they need somebody, a face to revive and the BJP, and brighten its perspectives for the 2024. That's where the crucial election lies, and they need somebody who can take the message of the party to the masses. That is why they have set in a very robust and an extensive consultative process where people like Mr. Vinod Tavre, people, they're none other than Mansukh Mandavia. They're there to do a consultative. Even Mr. Yadurappa traveled to Delhi as a Margadarshak and given his inputs. You'd be surprised to see that they're going to put up a face, not like an interim one, or with all due respect, whether it is Mr. Bommai or anyone else. They want to have a face who is fresh, who is energy, who brings in that passion, who brings in that kind of a entire vibe into the party and rejuvenates.
So you're telling me they don't have that face right now?
2024. They do have now that they're in the.
Okay, so you're telling me that they don't have the face right now, because there's a long list and everyone is fighting with each other on who the LOP is going to be. Also, Anurag, you tell me, you started by saying why said this narrative that there is dissent within the BJP, at least BJP units of 2 states. The point is, every time that is the narrative that is spread, when the Congress party has 2 leaders arguing with each other in public. Point is, if it's, point is that standards have to be applied equally to both the Congress and the BJP. If there is infighting within the Congress, then you report there is infighting within the Congress. And when there is infighting within the BJP, then you have to report that there is infighting within the BJP. That's the fair thing to do as a journalist. But Mr. Dhruv Jatti, you're the Congress spokesperson. एक minute. Mr. Dhruv Jatti, you are the Congress spokesperson. Respond to Anurag Naidu when he says, why set this narrative that there is dissent? It is 2 states that we are talking about, and it's not like any leader is openly talking against each other. Whatever is happening behind closed doors, and that degree of discipline at least has been maintained.
Shreya, I'll come to the closed doors part because it's been pretty open in a bit, but let me start off by saying it's not just the opposition leader. We don't have a party president in the Bharatiya Janata Party, no chief whip. There is also no CLP leader as well at the same time. And this, like you said, happened in the first time in the history of Karnataka Legislative Assembly ever. And it's pretty shocking because if you rewind 50 days ago, you had the Bharatiya Janata Party running pillars to the media asking why the cabinet expansion was taking so long. And let's say now, when we speak at this point of time, 50 days later, they're least interested to even appoint a party president, forget the opposition leader. And this seems to be a fact and not just a narrative. Now, coming to the part about whether this has been happening under closed door or open doors, let me remind you about the recent conclave that took place in Bagalkoti district, a district from where I am also currently doing the show from. You had two camps, one the Yatnal camp and the Nirari camp, who went on stage and openly abused each other in what I would say North Karnataka slang. And that was beyond ridiculous, because that shows how divided the party is on the whole. And this whole facade about saying that, they're united within the House speaking on various issues is completely, what I would say, ridiculous, because there is no unity that is put forth together. And if there was unity, do you think it would have taken 50 days or the next couple of weeks to appoint a leader of opposition? The whole facade about saying there's a concrete process, all of it put together, shows how weak the entire leadership is. And the question lies, because in the state election, it was clear that they were dependent on the center's leadership, and it failed miserably. Now, 50 days later, they don't appoint a leader of opposition. Is it a very similar message that they're giving to the public, that with the parliament elections coming forth, the center is not going to be worried about the state leadership at all? They're going to go all guns blazing without taking any of the state leaders into consent? And also, Shreya, what about the central BJP leadership that had vested interests in Karnataka? Because you must remember about the exodus of Lingayat leaders that took place in the Bharatiya Janata Party. Where are those leaders right now who are responsible for this? Are they the ones who are putting the roadblocks right now? Are they continuing the whole anti-Lingayat sentiment that they put forth during the election time? There are a bunch of questions that, in fact, the Bharatiya Janata Party, if not the less, has to be guilty about. Because if not for anything, they owe an answer to the people of Karnataka. And this is a fact and not a narrative.
Okay. It's a fact, it's not a narrative. Anurag, before I get in Mr. B.S. Arun, Anurag, fact is that you remember what was happening when the Chief Minister of Karnataka was being picked by the Congress party. What did the BJP, everyday BJP spokespersons, today they are not here. We invited them, they are not here because this is a case of infighting within their own party, which is why you are having to defend them. But the fact is, every day they used to be sitting in every studio, in Noida, speaking about how there is infighting within the Congress party, days after the Congress victory, that Mr. Siddaramaiah and D.K. Shivakumar hate each other. How will they work with each other? Look at, is this what the people of Karnataka voted for? Now, if that wasn't a narrative, then this isn't a narrative either. And it is happening in Telangana as well. Look at what is happening with Mr. Bandi's supporters. One of them tried to hang himself. There are a couple who have resigned. He himself is saying that, there are some things that have to close without closure. So there is obviously dissent. And the party which prides itself for being a party with a difference is becoming a party with differences, at least in these two states.
Shreya, I want to be absolutely honest on your show. You made two comparisons, one for Telangana and one for Karnataka. And I would absolutely agree with you when you spoke about the Telangana narrative, because I've been keenly observing both the Telugu states. I come from the Telugu states, and I can tell you there is a groupism, there is factions in the BJP in Telangana, and that's a reality. And that's why the central leadership has tried to make Mr. Ital Rajendra happy and other people who can make a big dent of the difference. And that is not a precedent that will make the party or the Karyakartas happy, and that's a fact. Okay, so I know Mr. Bandi Sanjay very well. I know the kind of work that he has done. He doesn't deserve to be put in place. In fact, that's a different story. But coming to the Karnataka, I'll tell you what exactly the fact is. The difference in Congress and the BJP is when Mr. Shivakumar and Mr. Siddaramaiah was fighting, they were the swords were out. There was an open fight. The kind of statements Mr. Suresh made, the kind of statements came from the sides of Mr. Siddaramaiah, and there were two groups fighting absolutely open in the media. I won't say typical fighting, but they were pitted against each other. But in BJP, you don't see that. Nobody can. In fact, the likes of Mr. Yedurappa also. He was very tough, and he took the high command up when it comes to the ticket distribution for Mr. Shettar. And the high command said, sorry, Mr. Yedurappa, we can't do that. We have our own candidate. So Mr. Yedurappa also followed the line, being the tallest leader from Karnataka. So absolutely, there is no evidence to say that there is a factionism, there is dissent. Nobody has come out and opposed the decision of the high command in BJP. Show me one instance, and I'll apologize. But you cannot You cannot just say, because in Congress, you have always seen what happened in Rajasthan. You have seen what happened in Madhya Pradesh. You have seen what happened in Chhattisgarh. Of course, they've done a patch up now. I don't know for how long it will go. So there is a precedence to when we say
Anurag
Congress
Naidu.
has factionalism. There is a precedence and example. Tell me the
Even
examples
I
of
have not
BJP barred in
compared the
Telangana in
BJP's
the recent
discipline
time.
to the Congress's discipline.
Of course, I mean,
even I have
BJP is
not
better
compared the
disciplined.
Congress's discipline with the BJP's discipline. Absolutely, 100%. I agree with you. The Congress is khulle aam. They have to, when they have to say something, when they're fighting with someone, they need to ensure that the world knows. Which is why, we are seeing what we are seeing in the state of Rajasthan, amongst others. But B.S. Arun,
That's right.
You've heard both sides. Just put the story as it is playing out, put this in perspective for us, both in the case of Telangana and in the case of Karnataka, and are the two necessarily different? Because for me, if in 50 days you have not been able to decide on the leader of opposition or who the party president is going to be, there's clearly something terribly wrong within the party, where you have different factions that are warring with each other. In Telangana, we know there's a war. Here, Mr. Arun is saying, how do you know there's a war? किसी ने तो आके कुछ बोला ही नहीं.
Well, especially in Karnataka, the issues are quite serious. In the last 1 to 1.5 months, we are seeing, leader after leader, MP after MP, MLA after MLA, speaking in different tones. It was all started by Mysore MP Pratap Simha speaking against, he didn't name it, but it was obvious against Bommai. And he called, what is called adjustment politics in Karnataka. And that he said, was the main reason for the defeat of the BJP. Then others joined in, C.T. Ravi, Renukacharya, people like, there are some 8-10 leaders who joined this issue, and every day coming out with statements, one statement or the other, which really put the BJP in deep embarrassment. So when that is the case, the party was also struggling to name a leader of the opposition. May 13th was the result that was declared in Karnataka. And today is July 5th. So it's almost coming to 2 months, as you mentioned. So in 2 months, BJP could not elect one leader for this post, which is a crucial post. Day after tomorrow, we have the budget presentation here. And as far as the BJP state president is concerned, the post, of course, there is a person who is heading it, but then his term has ended. His term ended last year, and he is continued because of the assembly elections. Now, there also, the Renukacharya had spoken against him. He said, Mr. Katil, who is the president, should resign immediately. Why he has not resigned so far, even after 1.5 months of the party's, drubbing in the polls. So these are the kind of statements that have been emanating from different leaders of the BJP. The party is in deep trouble. It doesn't know how to come out of its electoral debacle, and it has to answer so many things, so many questions that the people, that the media, even the Congress is raising today. As the members got up to speak, Siddaramaiah, chided them, saying that where is your opposition leader? It's been 3 days that the assembly session has started, and you haven't elected a leader. Because of that, to ensure that issue doesn't come up, you are simply taking up issues and coming to the well of the house and speaking against the government. So these are the kind of things that are happening in Karnataka, while the party is also facing the same trouble in Telangana, in the neighboring Telangana, because Telangana is a state which, after Karnataka's drubbing, BJP wanted to have a good show. And Shreya, reminding you, they did quite well in the Greater Hyderabad Municipal Corporation elections. BJP pushed Congress to third place and performed creditably. I think they won about 50 odd seats. Of course, they lost to the KCR MIM combined, but then party did quite well, and they also won an assembly election, defeating KCR's party. So when that is the case, now, replacing the party president looks, quite surprising why an established party like the BJP is doing that. Obviously, it is because Buddy has, failed to take everybody along. He's seen as somebody who is, hot-headed, loudmouth, and not able to carry people along. I think that was the main reason why the party decided to change him and bring in the Union Minister Reddy to this post. So I think the party is really struggling to come to terms in these two states.
The party is struggling. The BJP is struggling in two states in the south, that is Telangana and that is Karnataka as well. There is infighting being reported within the party in both these states. A party, as I said, that prides itself for being disciplined, that discipline possibly unraveling. We'll leave it there for the moment. Thank you very much. This has been a good chat. Mr. B.S. Arun, thank you very much. Dhruv, good to have you on the show. Anurag, good to have you on the show as well. With that, I'm slipping into a quick break on the show. Coming up next, old car,